Hello, Bill Molyneux here for a quick video on Star Trek. Full thrust, Bill's modified massive rules. Boy, did I get a lot of emails, texts, PMs, messages through everything. This Star Trek rules that I have created through the help of several systems. And yes, I have Starfleet battles and everything else in the Wargame room. This system was specifically made for 10 or 15 people to play really fast, really quick, or solo play. I'm going to go over the rules really quick. Bill 101 Star Trek. For those of you who would like these rules, they're free. I'm going to have them uploaded on the No Stress Miniature Wargaming site on Facebook in the files section. So come on, let's look at how you can turn complicated rules into simple rules. All right, we're going to use the two main ships that you've seen on Star Trek, the original series, for those that are in the age class of my world. So we're going to expand this Klingon D7 as an example. These little dots in a square, they're your sensors. These are your hit points. These little dots here, stars, you're going left to right from the bottom. When you hit one, you roll a D6 for every system. If you roll a 6, it's knocked out. Phaser, you can tell the shading. It can fire forward and to the starboard. Disruptor for D. Right here, that squiggly line, that is its warp drive capability. Okay? This is its impulse engines, and that's what you're using that a lot. That's what I base the movement on for my system. Now, there is also shields. All ships are considered to have some kind of shields, but if you get a ship that has that gives you a saving throw of a 5 or a 6. If you have two of them, it's a 3 through 6. All right, the Klingon D7 battle cruiser does not have that. All right, so it does not get a saving throw. That's the difference between the heavy cruiser and the D7 battle cruiser. So that's the systems for that. For the Constitution, the Enterprise, you'll see we have 3 phaser banks, 2 level, 2 torpedo tubes, 2 sensors, so it can fire at 2 ships. If the sensors are ever knocked out, you only can hit on a 6 no matter what. There is that symbol that represents shields, warp drive, and impulse engines. All right, next let's go to movement. So we have movement. I don't use protractors, don't do math, I don't do anything. All right, I used to have a huge wargaming group with a ton of people. And to be honest, there was an awful lot of side talk. Half of them were licensed battlefield guides and all kinds of stuff. So it was hard to keep everyone's attention going. So this Constitution class, we would roll first to see who goes first. A 1 and a 2. So he would go first. All right. Now, I can roll 6 dice because its value is a 6. But if I want to pivot before I move, I'll lose a die. If I want to pivot 2 or 3 other times, every time I turn, I lose a die. So right now, we're going to say we want to get on the rear of that Klingon ship. Okay? So is everyone following me? We want to get on the rear end of it where it has less firepower. All right? In fact, it has no firepower in the rear end. So I'm rolling my dice. So I'm going to burn that one to pivot like that. And then I'm going to move 5 inches. Like so. All right. And as you can see, I got really bad dice. I got a 1, 2, and a 2, and a 3. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and move 3, 4, 5. There's 5. I'm going to move 7 more inches up. So I use those, and then I use that one to pivot like that. Now, I use no power allocation chart, nothing. Okay, now, when you're done moving, you get to fire. So, I'm going to pause the camera. We're going to look at the firing chart. Here is our weapons chart. It uses a D6. There's 3 types of phasers, 3, 2, and 1. The 3-1 does 3 points of damage. Type 2 does 2, and Type 1 does 1. And I'm pretty sure everyone can see all of that. Now, photons, disruptors, and plasma. There's our numbers to hit. Photon torpedoes do 1d6 per torpedo. Disruptors do 2 points of damage, shorter range. Plasma torpedo, we have 2 types, a 2 strength and a 4 strength. You notice their damage drops off further range. Mines, there are a couple mines for the Romulan bird of prey or warbird. I just use it as a torpedo. If someone plows into one, it doesn't never really ever happen. Okay, so we're going to go through and do a combat. Here's our Constitution class. We have 3 phasers that can, our forward phaser of 2, starboard, and port. So we have a total of 1, 2, 3 dice. And we'll check our range. And we can go from stand to stand. So we're at 8 inches. So 3 through 6 to hit. And we have 2 hits for 4 points. The Klingon D7 has no saving throw. So I just marked off 3 points of damage. I did not hit the critical. Now, our Enterprise has fired our phasers. We'll now fire the 2 torpedoes. I'll bring this up. And you'll see the torpedo tubes are here and here. Now on our chart, torpedoes don't hit so well. We're at 8 inches, so I need a 4, 5, or a 6. One torpedo missed at a 2, the other one hit, and it does 1d6 worth of damage. So, I'm now marked off 2 points, and we caused a damage of the critical. So I'm going to move our camera down. Now, if I roll a 6 on anything, so the 2 sensors, oh my gosh, boxcars. So now this Klingon D7 can only hit on a 6 no matter what. The 2 phasers are good, both disruptors. So we'll say we lost that disruptor. Warp drive is good. An impulse engine, we didn't lose a point there. So if I roll the 6 for the impulse, it would go from a 6 to a 5. So that's what the Enterprise did to the Klingon D7. Now, the D7 can move. It has the warp drive still. I can declare I want to get off the board and warp out of the game and save my ship. Okay? So if you're playing with a whole group of friends, you could have someone you want to bail. All right? You don't necessarily fight to the death. So we're going to have our Klingon D7 roll its 6 dice for movement. And make it simple, we're going to have it move 12 inches forward. Okay? That burns those 2 dice. And then we're going to use that die to pivot like that. Then we're going to go 8 inches forward. So that uses those 2. And this final die, I used a pivot. So it's maneuvered itself behind the Enterprise. Now, unfortunately, because both sensors are gone, it's going to have a heck of a time hitting. We're going to fire the two phasers. And we did score a hit. So 2 points into the Enterprise. The shields stopped one, so the Enterprise did take 1 point of damage. Now the Disruptor, we only have one now, and that missed. All right, now a little note about photon torpedoes, plasmas, and disruptors. I let the shields stop disruptors and the plasma, but not photons. That will be totally up to you if you do use these basic rules. I'm uploading the couple things into the file, and I'll have it on the free Facebook site. And that's really where we're at. Though the Enterprise took 1 point, I would think the D7 would want to take off and fly away. The Enterprise will just turn. I won't even, we roll all 6 dice, but it's just going to fire away. Both 3 phasers, only 1 phaser hit. It would do 2 points. 1, 2. 2 torpedo tubes. They both hit. And they do 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's where the Klingon D7's at. It needs to roll all its systems twice because I hit 2 of the stars, and it only has 2 hit points. So we would say I'm going to pull you down here. So I'm going to roll twice for this phaser. It's fine. Twice for that phaser. Good. Disruptor. Good. Warp drive. Warp drive is gone. And impulse engines. Impulse went from a 6 to a 5. So as you can see, in the time it took to make this video, 15 minutes, I had, I don't know if you want to call it a realistic Star Trek battle, but all I'm using is 1 sheet of paper for combat, a very simple movement system with these dice, and I know the dice may not sound complicated, but when you're trying to maneuver and there's 20 ships out here, you have to decide, what dice you want to get rid of to make turns. And right now we go into the next turn. The D7 being crazy Klingons, they did score a hit with 2 points, and the Enterprise would take 2 points into the hull, and the Disruptor missed. But I think at this point, no warp drive for the Klingon D7 battlecruiser. 2 hit points. It's probably going to surrender or, self-destruct. What do you think of that? All right, this is Bill's 101 Star Trek, super simplified. And yes, I know there are more Star Trek rules out there in the world. I appreciate every one of you that sent me all kinds of wonderful notes. And it's really nice to know someone's watching my channel of a goofy old guy in a basement. And I really appreciate it. So, without further ado, don't forget this video is helping to raise money for Weiss Fork Battlefield in Kinston, North Carolina, the second largest battle in the American Civil War in North Carolina. Stay safe, be kind, be courteous, and Mr. Dave M., the sheets here that are on the internet, you can adjust them. So I could make this ship all disruptors, but they give everything a little bit of flavor. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you again for watching.